Hello again, everybody. Zacatech is here with another review video for you. Now, I've done a lot of review videos for movies, concerts on my attack line, and of course, full-on videos based on wrestling reviews, pay-per-views and stuff. But I've never done a full-on video review of an album. I've done kind of mini album reviews on my attack lines in the past, but it's my first full-on album review. Now, I'm a disc jockey. I love various amount of music, a variety of music, from pop music to rock music. And today I'm reviewing to you an album that came out today, on this day I'm making this video, Tuesday, July 29th. This album came out today, and it's a brilliant rock record. If you like old school bluesy rock and roll, especially classic rock, you would love this album, and I'll tell you why you should. I get my thoughts on the new Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers album, Hypnotic Eye. Now, I'm going to see Tom Petty in concert this August on his Hypnotic Eye tour at Pine Knob, Detroit. And I got this album because, of course, if you follow Tom Petty, everybody who gets a ticket, everybody who buys a ticket to Tom Petty's concerts this summer will get a digital download of his album, which I did get today. But I took part in a Hypnotic Eye pre-sale, which meant that not only would you get the digital copy of the album, but you would also get the physical album. I got the physical album on Saturday, and here's the flap. I like the cover art on the CD. Now that I've shown you the outside of the CD and the outside of the album, it's time to tell you what's on the inside of the album. The inside of the album, it's a brilliantly done bluesy rock record. Now, I've been a big Tom Petty fan since I was a kid. I bought his playback box set when I was younger. I even bought the She's the One soundtrack. Still, I love Walls. One favorite Tom Petty songs is Walls. In my top 10 favorite songs of his. And I heard a little bit of his last album, Mojo. Had that bluesy vibe, comparing it. And this album's just well produced. For a band like Tom Petty and Heartbreakers, who's been around for almost 40 years, to put out this album, this album proves that there's still a viable force in the world of rock, and the vibe of the album from top to bottom of this album is just a brilliant rock record. It's brilliantly produced, and just the vibe of the record. It's just a jammy record, just bluesy, wootsy record. Some of the highlights of the album for me, I think all the songs are great, to be honest. But my favorites, if I was to pick favorites, key tracks on the album, would have to be the first single from the record, American Dream Plan B. It's just a very rocky track. Burned Out Town. I love the bluesy rock vibe of Burned Out Town. Just that vibe, just the laid back, bluesy vibe of that song is just amazing on that. And the guitar work on all the songs are great. And of course, the guitar work on one of my other favorite key tracks, You Get Me High. Another brilliant song on that album. Just brilliantly done. Just the vibe. Like I said, every song is just great. Even the more subdued songs, like Sins of My Youth and Full Grown Boy. Like those two songs, they're more subdued in their nature, but they still have an impact. Just the vibe of those two songs. It just gets you, man. The lyric work, and just the musicality, and just the technicality and the musicianship is there. The Heartbreakers have always been a musicality band, a very unique band, and a very hard-working band. And it's one of the only bands that almost has all the original members. Of course, Stan Lynch is gone. It's been gone for almost 20 years. But you got the original lineup really intact, besides the drummer yet. Of course, Mike Campbell's guitar work, once again, he stands out big time along with Tom. They're both great guitar players. You have Juan Blair, great bassist as well, with the bass lines of the songs. Of course, we need to pronounce his name right. Benmount Tench. I need to pronounce his name right. Yeah, Benmount Tench, great organ player, great musician as well, and another additional added player they've added the last couple of years. Of course, referring to Scott Thurston, one of their touring musicians, that adds on as well with the additional instruments of the record. In my mind, when it comes to Grammy season, this should be a front runner for rock album, best rock album. This should get a lot of Grammy nods in the rock categories, because I don't think it'll be nominated in the main categories because they want to focus on the pop people. But I think it'll win best rock album for sure. Just well produced and just hard rocking, just pure maximum rock and roll with the bluesy elements involved, especially on songs like "Burn Out Town." I'm not the biggest fan of the last track though. "Shadow People" is kind of a diss at religious people and political people. It's okay. This is probably my least favorite song on the album. If I was to pick any song that I don't like, I like all the tracks besides, because "Shadow People" is okay to me. Just the vibe of that song is interesting, and the record, it's the longest song on the record too. It's almost 7 minutes long. It is an okay song. If I were to pick a least favorite, that would be it. But besides that, there's no other bad song in the bunch. All the songs are just brilliant on the record. Just well produced and well performed. And I am hoping, if I was to choose, because like I said in the beginning, I'm going to see Tom Petty in August at the Knob in Detroit. If I was to pick what songs he would do for the album, because I'm looking forward to hearing all the older songs. But I'm looking forward to new songs as well, because whenever an older artist decides to play new songs, usually it's bad for break. But Tom Petty fans have no excuse to ignore the new songs, because we're all getting the album. Whether it's digitally, or in my case, both digitally and physically, like I did with the Hypnotic Eye pre-sale. The songs I would love to hear him do live on the Hypnotic Eye tour would definitely have to be "Burn Out Town," "You Get Me High," "American Dream" Plan B, and another one of my favorite songs, "Forgotten Man." That's another song I love. "Forgotten Man." That vibe is just insane too. Like all the songs are great. "Power Drugs" got, like, every song's got a different vibe to each song, and the vibes gel well to make one cohesive record. That's what's missing this one. I love, like I said, I'm a disc jockey and I play singles. We're built upon a singles market. But there's still something about listening to an album from front to back. It's still something magical about that to me. Because I'm raised in the singles world, but when I get an album, I still appreciate the work that's done for an album. Especially on a rock album like this with very cohesive record from top to bottom. That's why I think it should win a lot of awards. And it's already been critically acclaimed by a lot of critics. So, there you go. If you are into classic rock music and want to hear what your favorite artists have been coming up with when it comes to new material, and if it's sufficient and it be stacked up, that's a big question. How would this album stack up against classic Tom Petty albums like "Damn the Torpedoes," self-titled album, and of course later albums like "Wildflowers" and "Mojo"? I think this album will stack well. I think this album will be ranked among one of Tom's best albums. When you rank this album against all of his classic albums, this should be up there in his top 5 best albums, in my humble opinion. So if you're a fan of Tom Petty, and or if you're just a fan of classic rock and want to get into some new music from your favorite classic rock artists, check this album out. Great album from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. And that's my thoughts on it. Really done. Just classic. Go get it. I don't care how you get it. Whether it's on CD, or on iTunes, or on LP. I even hear they're selling it on vinyl. Doesn't matter how you get it. Get this album if you're a classic rock enthusiast. Get his album. Brilliantly done from Tom Petty. Great new music from him. Can't wait to see him in August. And that is it for my Hypnotic Eye album review by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. With that in mind, y'all been attacked by the album review from Zach. Thank y'all very much. See ya. Have a great rest of your day today. See ya. Yeah.